Cardano has the world's largest decentralized innovation fund on its way to a billion users, over 1 million delegations, and the best staking mechanism in crypto, Ethiopia, Dish Network, Boost Mobile, all on board. Right now, 2022 begins the year of scalability and governance. Does this ADA dip bother me? Nope. What is up, everyone? Welcome to Crypto Capital Venture. Thank you for coming by. Cardano. Listen, this isn't financial advice. I'm not here to try and talk you into Cardano. I'm not here to try and talk you into how bullish it is. I'm really excited about the project. I'm really excited about how this long-term story has played out for Cardano. I've been very invested in it. It's been nice to see. It's been nice to see it grow. It's been nice to grow alongside of it with all of you out there in the community. And right now, Cardano is down. And I just want to talk about the overall story that has played out, from just the technical fundamentals and the growth of the network to the dips and the all-time highs and the continued dips, and we're in a dip right now. And this is just me. This is just me doing a video and talking about it because I'm interested in it. This is why I created the YouTube channel, to track my crypto journey. And I just want to talk to you about Cardano right now because it's at levels historically, no matter what crypto you're in, no matter what crypto I've been in, it's at levels now. And I did a video the other day, it was a live stream, talking about the plummet to opportunity, because this, in my view, is where Cardano is right now. And so I want to go over here to Twitter, and I want to just give you a quick snapshot of this tweet that I just tweeted just not long ago, not even an hour ago. I said, just bought some ADA and Cody, zoom out. And then I said, none of my tweets are financial advice. My approach in crypto over the years is to buy the dips. It has seemed to work very well, so that's what I'm continuing to do. So I want to just highlight that because this isn't any type of rocket science, everyone. This has been my approach. It has seemed to work. I'm sharing it with you. Whether or not it continues to work, all of us are in the dark on what's going to happen next with crypto. We don't know. We don't know the exact bottom in this longer term dip. But if we start breaking down the data, we can see. And Cardano, with all of the achievements it has seen so far, the best staking mechanism with Shelley Network and Shelley Era back here in July of 2020, multi-asset ledger. We saw the explosion of innovation really begin when that happened. And then most recently, smart contracts. And now we're entering 2022. We've had a dip over the last months. That's good. But as we're entering this scalability and governance year, right? That's Cardano's going to be working on that a lot. And optimization of all of these other things. Cardano is set and primed, in my view, to continue to see an uptrend on the long term. That's why we zoom out on the charts. That's where I am. What I want to do, if we look at the 6 hour right now, if we look at the 6 hour, it's just wow, like it's down. And it's not pretty to look at this chart. It's just really not. This is the last since September, the last months, and it's been just grueling. And it's been especially grueling tracking this, right? And it hasn't been enjoyable. However, this entire move to the downside, this is where the opportunity forms. This is where the people that are like, man, I'm late into crypto, this is it. Like, this is the door being opened back up. This is what it looks like. It's ugly. It's painful. There's fear in the markets, but this is what it looks like on the crypto charts. And this isn't the first time in crypto we see a chart like this. This is what happens time and time again. And this is when we really should start paying attention. On the 6 hour, it's continuing to see a downtrend. There's not much to say about it other than here's this lower trend line Cardano broke out of. Don't know where we're going to see short-term support. The biggest thing I'm looking for is a pullback to this area. So, $1.20 up to $1.30 of some sort, some type of pullback, whether that's now, whether Cardano comes and actually tests $1 and then pulls back. That's something I'm anticipating. Whether or not it happens, it's up in the air, but we see it time and time again, these pullbacks to these trend lines, right? And so what I'd be looking for is, number one, the pullback, but number two, how does Cardano interact, right? Does it break above, right? And do we start seeing bullish reversal confirmations like that? Or are we seeing bearish confirmations where we see huge resistance at the pullback area and then we're continuing down? So pullback and then continuing down. And this is where the patience is really tested. This is where we see a lot of people starting to bail in crypto no matter what chart you're looking at. This would be the Cardano chart. But either way, we're on the short term, we're going to look for just support down to $1. Just historically, this entire range, if you go back on these charts, you see Cardano just bouncing over and over again, wicking off of this $1 area, even down to like 90 cent to $1 area. So this whole range, big support for Cardano. Let's see what happens. There is room for downside. We have a downside target. Worst case scenario, I'm going to integrate kind of into the macro view of things to the 50 cent range. We talked about it the other day on the daily chart. This is what that daily chart looks like from my video the other day. Falling into that 50 cent to dollar range area is a heavy buy area. I've been buying, right? Since this whole entire dip started, today wasn't the first time I bought. I've been buying. The heavy buy zone for me is under $1. Heavy buy zone. That's kind of what translates for me on the weekly chart. And this is really what I wanted to cover. I wanted to give a macro view of what's going on here because it's true. At the end of the day, no YouTuber knows what's going to happen next. We don't know how low things will go, but we can analyze historical data. And I mentioned this in the video the other day. Cardano on this weekly chart approaching this 35 area on this momentum oscillator, slower moving momentum oscillator. It's been oversold for months on the stock RSI, quicker moving momentum oscillator. And even on the MACD, you can see at the bottom of the screen, there's been upward momentum. It's struggling. It is. However, there's been upward momentum. And so when I'm looking at this and you look historically for Cardano, every time Cardano was in this area, every single time it marked either a shorter term, midterm bottom or a longer term reversal bottom. And Cardano is in this area not once right here, but it's a second touch. And when I'm looking at these charts, I'm like, all right, what's kind of the most painful when we're looking back at this, right? I kind of ignored this. This was the pandemic. This was COVID starting, the panic that really put a chop in things for the entire crypto markets. It threw charts off a little bit. Like this could have been the bottom. And then we were getting this reversal and then boom. So who knows what this entire chart would look like if the pandemic didn't happen. So I kind of ignoring this data point. And then I go back to this data point and I say, okay, Cardano is bottoming out. And when we look at what it was doing, when you look at the quicker moving momentum oscillator and we take a date range from oversold to where it got out of oversold, we're looking at around 98 days, 100 days. If we go to the momentum oscillator now, the stock RSI from when it entered oversold to where we are, look at this. Cardano now 70 some days in oversold. And if we compare the the RSI right here, Cardano hanging out and consolidating in a similar fashion as it was back here. So long story short, we could have continued consolidation. We could have a very similar continued downtrend. And with that being said, we know the targets to the downside if this happens. If Cardano continues to be oversold in the manner in which it is, we know we can trickle down to 50 cents. We know that. So we can make our decisions based on that data. And on this macro view, we also see the most glaring of all things. The opportunity is here. If you're a long-term thinker, if you want to look at the macro charts and analyze your risk tolerance, this is probably the most healthy. This isn't financial advice, everybody, but this is probably the most healthy, least risky part of the Cardano chart. We're there. Like we're in that territory. This was way less risky to be buying than up here, right? And this is like overbought territory. Even back here on the macro, this is fine to buy. I'm sure people were buying at 14 cents, but on the midterm, look at the pain involved coming out of that overbought territory. There's consolidation. Oftentimes when we're in overbought, it's just not the best time if you don't have the patience to hold long term to buy. But historically, when we're in this oversold bottom range, here's the bottom of the last bear market, this is the best time to buy. And it's fascinating to see Cardano at these levels, this 35 level this low level point that it's been on this momentum oscillator, and right now it's above a dollar. That's crazy to see that. It could definitely fall below a dollar. It could definitely fall down to that 50-cent target that we have. It could happen. We can track this chart, the 6 hour, see if we get the pullback, see if we get the break back into this pattern that we have on the screen above that lower trend line. But if not, for me, I like to visualize that really bad scenario where Cardano's failing even more, crypto's just falling. Maybe it takes a while. Maybe we get the pullback and it's like February, right? And we're back at $1.30, and then we actually still have to trickle down to like 50 cents, and it's like springtime, and we're all like, what the heck? And then it's bear market talk, and it's all of that. Maybe that happens. But either way, it doesn't matter. If we go to the weekly chart, this is what I see. And I see opportunity. And I see what's going on in the Cardano ecosystem. And it's still early in 2022. 2022 just began. And the projects that are building on Cardano right now, they are just beginning. The opportunities, the altcoin opportunities that are forming. And Uniswap going to provide a platform for liquidity for these projects. Charles was just talking about this in I think in the spaces. I heard him talking about that, how platforms like Uniswap are going to create a lot of opportunity for new projects to launch and for the Cardano ecosystem to grow. So it's really cool to see all of this taking place in an environment where Cardano's oversold. So I just wanted to chat about it. I mean, I from a technical analysis perspective, I didn't want to dig into the short term too much. One thing on the daily chart that we could talk about, I think is important to talk about, is we should, and I should probably do another video on this, but we should eye up how oversold Cardano is getting on the daily. And let me get my price range. Most importantly, how overextended it's getting from the daily 50-day moving average. So you can see wicking to around 23% overextended. That's when we start really raising our eyebrow. Now, Cardano could get very overextended. We're talking 50% plus. And that brings us into like the 60-cent range. But I want to say this. On the flip side, we get these moves to the upside as well. Here's the all-time high, 70% overextended from the 50-day moving average before the reversal. We want to look at an exact reflection of what happens in uptrends, because it usually happens in downtrends as well. Not saying we're going to get there, but just be prepared for a scenario like that. If we don't get the bullish reversal there is targets to the downside we want to be prepared for. I'm personally just patient. I'm here for the long term. So the opportunity, as we've made our way to $3 plus, we've come all the way back down to the dollar range. And in my view, there's opportunity there. Just be very, very careful in this crypto space, everybody. Those are my thoughts. I appreciate you coming by. Hang in there. Hang in there. Zoom out on everything. Step away from crypto. It's all good. Life is good. God is good. I appreciate you cruising by. I'll see you in the next video. God bless.